So I'm going to do a combination of the three products as a probiotic drink. Now I've already made some Kefir up, a batch of that, 4 pints, a batch of Actimel up, 4 pints of that, and similarly with Yakult. Now I thought, well, why not try to combine the all three? Now what I will be doing, the smallest container there is Yakult, which is 65 mils. Actimel is 100 mils, and I believe Kefir is about 150. So I'm going to use 65 mils from each one, so there's not going to be any sort of competition. If I put Kefir in first, all of it, it might compete for the milk, the fermentation food, over Yakult, which is only a small amount. So I'm going to put 3 equal amounts in. And probiotic drinks have proved to be good for the biome, as we call it, or the microbiome, which is in the gut, in the lower intestine. And it's been shown that it can improve things like immunity, increase your immunity. It reduces anxiety. It does have effect on the way you feel. My only concern is the amounts that are supplied, say, in Yakult, really is not enough to get down to the gut, because don't forget it's got to go through the stomach, which contains all natural acids, so that could kill the bacteria. It's got to go through the small intestine, which is quite long, before you get down to the lower intestine. So what I've been doing over the last few weeks, I've been making batches of this, which are a lot cheaper than buying the original amounts and just using that. So say, for example, I can make 4 pints of Yakult for a cost of the 1 container of Yakult plus 4 pints of milk, which 4 pints of milk cost me between £1.09 and £1.15. So it's a lot cheaper. So with this, you will need to take or drink at least half a pint, if not a pint, a day. What I've been doing is drinking half a pint in the morning, half a pint before I go to bed. So it gives time then for it to get down into the lower intestine. I personally have found some good results with it, especially not so much with the immune system. I think I've got quite a strong immune system anyway, but it doesn't hurt to increase that. But as my intestinal system has definitely improved over the last week or so. So let's make this quite soon. What I've done, as I mentioned, I've heated milk to 80 degrees C, which has disinfected it, basically killed any bugs and bacteria in there. I'm going to let it cool down to between 25 and 40 degrees C, which is ideal temperature for the bacteria in these products to start working. Now, the best temperature really for them to work at is about 40 degrees C, which is what my my yogurt maker runs at, and I'll be fermenting it overnight. So I'll be fermenting it for about 12 hours. So at the moment, it's just a liquid milk, very free flowing, but you will see with the results it gets very thick. So it might be worth, perhaps when that's made, diluting it with some spring water. Don't use tap water, because obviously the chlorine could affect the bacteria, could kill it. I wouldn't suggest diluting it with milk. It could start fermenting in a bottle, cause gas. Obviously it could explode. What I'm doing, I'm going to tip all the liquid back into the milk bottle, which I washed out, and use that on a regular basis then for probably the next week. 4 pints, that's half a pint a day for 7 days. So let's have a look at Kefir first. As it says on the label there, pasteurised cow's milk, fermented with 5 Kefir cultured natural fruit extracts as well. If you look at the bacteria at the bottom, they're all based on Lactobacillus casei. So we've got Lactobacillus casei acidophilus, you've got plantarum, you've got the casei, and you've got rhamnosus. The next one is Actimel. This contains Lactobacillus casei immunitas, I believe, but it also contains casei danone. At least Yakult in the smaller bottle contains Lactobacillus casei shirota. I've just checked the temperature of the milk. Just put that in there. Let's get up to centigrade, or Celsius rather. You can see it's 37.3, it's 37.2, that's fine. Body temperature. So now's the time to put in the cultures. I've got my measuring cylinder in place, so I'm going to measure out all the products. I want 65 mils of each product to make sure that there's no overcompeting by the bacteria. Now, with anything you use to make these products, whether it's buttermilk, yogurt or cultures, then make sure everything is disinfected. I won't say sterilized because it's a different temperature. So I've just tipped boiling water into the this container to make sure then it's clean when I put the products in, that nothing's going to be contaminated. So I've mixed all the cultures in there now, the Actimel, the Yakult and the Kefir. You can see how liquid it looks at the moment, or fluid. I use 65 mils of each one. So I put that into my container, and there's roughly about 200 mils of mixed cultures gone in there. So what I'll do now is close that up. I'm just going to turn this on, and the best way to do that is you do preset menus, which is done here. And I just want to go over all the way to yogurt. Now I want to increase the time. It's got 8 hours there, but I'm going to take it to 12 hours. So that's 12 hours fermentation. And when I come back to this in the morning, because it's now evening at the moment, you'll see the consistency of the cultures. Here's the cultured milk the next day, and you can see, I move that out, thick it is. So the bacteria have done their work. I'm just going to whisk this up and pour it into the original milk container and refrigerate it. And it's best used then when it goes cold. So that's that. That's whisked up now, ready to go into the container. The one thing I forgot to mention, you don't have to have a yogurt pressure fryer cooker type thing. You could quite easily do this in vacuum flasks. As long as you pour boiling water into the vacuum flask, get the temperature up, tip the water out, then tip the mixed liquid in and leave that overnight. It's going out of focus for some particular reason.